Welcome to India Today, SoSouth. I'm Sara Fazil. Following the Hema Committee reports scathing allegations exposing the incidents of sexual harassment in the Malayalam film industry, FIRE, that is the cinema rights body in Karnataka, that is the Film Industry for Rights and Equality, has also demanded for a similar committee like the Hema Committee to be formed in the state of Karnataka to look into the allegations of sexual harassment when it comes to the Kannada film industry. Now, they've written a letter to the Karnataka CM Siddaramiah, and they have certain demands that they have put forth before him, seeking a committee to be formed, which should be headed by a retired High Court or a Supreme Court judge. Joining me today on the discussion is the Secretary of the FIRE body, Chetan Ahimsa. Welcome to India Today, SoSouth, Chetan.
Thank you for having me, Sara.
Pleasure. Chetan, we would like to begin by talking to you about this letter that has been written by all to the Karnataka CM. If you can throw light and tell us what are the demands that you have.
Since we started in 2017, FIRE, Film Industry for Rights and Equality, has been working to make a gender equitable and safe environment. FIRE was the first organization anywhere in the country to start up a film industry ICC. We gave moral support, legal support, and various types of support for victims and survivors of the Me Too movement when they were abused by patriarchal-minded, powerful, vested interests in terms of victim shaming and victim blaming. We demanded an investigation. We demanded transparent investigation. And we won that because there was a transparent investigation, even though there wasn't a guilty charge, but there was consciousness, and women have been more aware of their rights. Men are more aware of what is proper behavior, and there is a change of mindset to some level. But unless the government gets involved, and we need an official sanctioned investigation the way WCC pushed for and the Pinarayi Vijayan and the Kerala government actualized through the Hema Committee report, we cannot completely eradicate the scourge that has gone on for generations, that is sexual harassment, that is covered up, that is denied, that is overlooked by the powerful male vested interests that exist and the patriarchal vested interests that exist in society, in the film industry. So we, from FIRE, with 153 people, all of whom are gender justice advocates and champions, both in the film industry and outside, you're talking about various organizations, have all come on board and said, yes, we support this demand. We want a High Court or Supreme Court justice who is retired, who will look into this matters, who has shown commitment towards gender justice issues, and give us a study and a report on what has happened. And also, we want policy measures that will make for a safe and healthy environment, because we all believe in an equalitarian and just society as well as just film. So this is something we are inspired by what WCC done. We're inspired by what the Pinarayi Vijayan administration has done, and we definitely demand that in Karnataka.
Right, Chetan. Chetan, you are the secretary of the FIRE body. And what I want to ask you is that what explains the fact that FIRE has come out and demanded a similar committee to be formed now? Is it because that the Hema committee has probably laid the foundation, has probably taken that step forward? And is this why that, FIRE also decided to come ahead and demand for a committee? Why now? Why now?
FIRE has been working in various capacities. For example, as I mentioned, we started in ICC. We had reasonable success on certain issues, but not complete success. We have been involved where we have gone to legal support and tried to bring about a government-sponsored ICC all this while. But once the Kerala government-sanctioned Hema Committee report came out with its 300 pages, of which 60 pages plus were about sexual harassment. And there is a big kind of cleansing process, a reformation process that is going on in Kerala, and there's ripple effects in all film industries. We believe we need government involvement. We need the official machinery to look into this matter, take a strong step. We cannot expect the film industry and the patriarchal mindsets for generations to self-critique. So I am not convinced with other film industries where they said, we'll look into it on our own. That is not a successful model. Pinarayi Vijayan's government and the Kerala government because of what WCC has done and because of the gross violations that have happened and the outrage, the government has taken active steps. Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who is a MP from the Congress government, Congress party, is saying, yes, it took 5. He's disappointed that it took 5 years. I agree, it took 5 years. It took too much time. But we ask that if you truly care, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, and you want to prove that your words have value, please tell Mr. Siddaramaiah here in Karnataka, he is your own Congress party member. Tell him and tell the Congress party that we also want women's rights. We also want gender justice. And we also want a safe working environment like the Kerala government is trying to do through the Justice Hema Committee report. And that's what we expect. And that is, they have laid the foundation there in Kerala. We also want that in Karnataka. We learn from one another and we are inspired by that, like that.
Chetan, you just mentioned very rightly that 153 members have signed this petition, advocating for gender justice across the strata. And my question to you is that if you can throw some light and tell us, did you all have a meeting? Did all you members come together? What was spoken about? What was the discussion? And finally, before this petition was signed and sent to the, Karnataka CM, what was it that was discussed?
Yes, we have been, ever since 2017, when we started FIRE, we have been in touch through WhatsApp, through meetings, through interactions, and we have been discussing various issues about how we could bring about a gender equitable environment. And we have been, there's a lot of kind of experimentation too. I mentioned we started our own ICC. We tried to get the government to get into ICC. We tried to get the film chamber to get ICC. We tried to get the film chamber to give all sexual harassment issues to us. So we have been working on very many ways to get some sort of traction in providing a just environment. But now, once the Hema Committee report came out, once a lot of survivors and victims of this kind of scourge came out and started speaking, and it had ripple effects all across all industries, lots of people in the Kannada film industry want to take a stand on this, want to see this eradicated, but there was nobody who was willing to take that strong step as a concerted effort, as a unified effort. And FIRE had the kind of credibility, and I give kudos to our FIRE team for organizing this. We have a lot of activists and a lot of gender justice minded people, as well as some known recognized cinema members, cinema stars. Everybody got involved and brought people who have credibility on these issues and got them on board. So the 153 people we have, these people have all in various capacities to varying levels have committed to gender justice work and have proven that. And these are names that hold a lot of weight in Karnataka. These are not names that are just are some kind of, they are making it for, they want to get some kind of publicity. These are people who have worked in kind of equalitarian and justice movements. So if you look at every single person of them, you are known people. So we got a lot of people on board. And
Chetan, I would just want to just interfere a little bit over here. I'm sorry to do that, but this just reminds me that while FIRE is now so motivated to come forward and say and demand for a committee of this nature, going back a little bit in the past when there was an incident involving a very popular Sandalwood actor and her facing she had sexual harassment allegations as well that she came forward and spoke about. Now, you are a part of the fraternity as well. You are a part of the industry as well. You're an actor yourself. When that particular incident came to the forefront, my question to you is, back at that point of time, did the Sandalwood industry come forward and speak about that certain actor's case? Was there a kind of a unity back then, voicing concerns when the incident came to the forefront? And if you can throw some light and tell us, ever since that incident, have they been similar or probably other incidents which were not spoken about, but following the Hema Committee report, following your petition, there are people coming out and willing to speak about their own, incidences probably?
Sara, that's a very good question. There has been a strong evolution since 2017-18 and the Me Too movement. In actuality, in the Me Too movement, what is interesting and unfortunate is that even in our FIRE group, we had a very strong knit group in 2017-18 when we built the ICC. But when the Me Too movement came and we supported a woman who is actually a member of our FIRE and has done active work, and she is a survivor and a warrior in her own way, when we supported her, many men and many prominent women in FIRE came out of fire and actively denounced fire. So what I'm trying to say is these are women who I am confident they have also, to various levels, experienced sexual harassment in their life and know this as a reality, but don't have either maybe the courage or the thought process, men and women, to take on this kind of scourge and this disease. So what I'm trying to say is that we need gender justice minded human beings. We cannot look at this as an identitarian fight. This is not a women's fight, because we have women who have strongly advocated gender rights and gender justice. We also have women who have been in fire, who have supported the establishment and trivialized these matters and kind of covered up, who are members of fire. So right now we have all come together as a group of human beings that believe in justice, and there's a lot more evolution, awareness since what we started in fire, since the active Me Too movement, and many women. We have a lot of women, not only the person who you're mentioning that we all stood in fire, but many women who have, in their own ways and individual levels, have stood and expressed their experiences and their struggles and their trauma. And we are getting everybody on board, and we're coming as a unified movement. There is a awareness, and I give credit to the survivors of 2018, the victims, to speaking out, and to other like conscientious people for bringing up, in spite of a lot of opposition. The opposition wasn't just from the film industry. The opposition was a lot of vested patriarchal mindsets. It was a lot of, it was even me, it was a lot of powerful groups that were browbeating at that time. But now there is considerable awareness, there's considerable consciousness, and we have to interlink between states. When we say pan-Indian films, we also have to say pan-Indian justice, and we give kudos to the Kerala government and WCC for also actively fighting.
So Chetan, will it be safe for us to say that currently the current environment of the Sandalwood film industry, following the Hema Committee report, following FIRE's this demand to form a similar committee in the state of Karnataka on an entire basis, will stand together and will support this kind of a committee and its findings, and whatever are their observations that they come out with? Will we find the sandalwood industry standing together, or is there a possibility to yet again see a divided camp?
We will definitely get gender justice minded human beings from the industry and outside to join us. The film industry is not a unified ideological body. Various people have various vested interests, various ideologies, and we all work towards making a successful, financially box office successful film. So be it. We could do our work. But we also, the ones who care about a wonderful film industry, an equitable, safe film industry overall, not just commercially box office successful films, but also behind the screen, a safe environment, who care about the film industry, who want to make a better film industry, are all of us in FIRE, are people in like WCC, are people who are like, are people who are risking their careers, risking a lot of accusations or slanderous assaults in various ways for the sake of a better industry. So we are inspired from others. We also want to mobilize a lot more people, and there's a lot more awareness since 2017-18. And I give kudos to the Me Too movement that happened in Hollywood in 2017, and the Me Too movement and the survivor activists that happened in 2018. And kudos to all the media that stood on the side of right, such as yourself, and are doing journalism. Thank you for that.
My final question to you, Chetan, that, does the FIRE have any plans of personally meeting the Karnataka CM Siddaramiah following this petition that's been submitted to him? Are you looking forward to going and talking to him on a one-on-one basis?
Yes, we are planning to go as a delegation in the coming days. Our president is out of station currently. When she comes, and when we all join hands, we will go to meet the Chief Minister Siddaramiah. We will try to meet the Women and Child Welfare Minister Lakshmi Hebbalkar. We want to make this an important issue. We want to bring it to light, and we are willing to fight on a long-term level to get what they got in Kerala, because we care about our industries. We are the true people who actually want a better industry, and I'm happy that you've given us this time to express it, and the movement goes on.
Just one final thing to wind up this conversation. Will this kind of a committee being formed in the state of Karnataka probably expose to us incidents or cases that were somewhere at the back, and were not really spoken about, Are we going to see any sort of revelation that was not done before?
We will push for it. This is a government that this is a political party that last year came to power saying that they are the ones who are upholding the Constitution, and the opposition party are violating the Constitution. If you really believe in the Constitution, we ask that our government, our Karnataka government, our Congress, Mr. Siddaramiah, to stand for the rights of women, who are 48 to 50% of our society, who have historically been marginalized because of patriarchy. And we want justice, and we are expecting, and we are hopeful, and we will push for this government to do us justice in that way. And we are confident they will, because this is a concerted effort. This is a unified effort by all people who believe in a better society, industry, and the Constitution to fight for right.
Thank you so much, Chetan. That was the secretary of the FIRE body, that is the Film Industry for Rights and Equality, speaking to us about the petition that the body has submitted to the Karnataka government to the CM Siddaramiah, demanding for a similar committee like the Hema Committee to be formed in the state to look into the allegations of sexual harassment involving women, and also advocating for gender justice. Now, what remains to be seen is what step is the Karnataka government going to take following this letter that's submitted by this film body, and will this committee be formed sooner than later to take action and to ensure a safe environment for the actors of the Sandalwood industry? Thank you so much, Chetan, for joining us on this discussion on India Today's SoSouth.
Thank you for having me.